Hey folks, so Justin over at That Christian Vlogger recently made a couple of videos about how you know God's purpose for your life, and I thought, these are pretty good. But there were a couple of things that I was thinking about that he didn't really get at, so I wanted to make a video in response to that, maybe fill in some of the gaps that I saw there. I think for some people, particularly if you're in your teens or your 20s, you're starting to try and figure out, well, okay, I'm getting a handle on who I am, and I'm getting sort of a feel for what I like and what I don't, but I don't really know what it is that I'm supposed to be doing simply because there's just so many flippin' choices out there. And this is totally legit. I mean, like 500 years ago, there were probably, 100, 150 total jobs in the world, and you could only really choose from about 6 of them. You didn't have a heck of a lot of choice. But in this day and age, there's like thousands of jobs. There are thousands of different possibilities for what you're supposed to be doing with your life, and trying to narrow it down just seems like this massive task, and it would be so nice to have somebody just sort of say, this is where you're supposed to go for it. Now you know. It takes so much pressure off of you. The reality is that most of us have to sort of wrestle through things. In this kind of culture, we have to explore. We have to figure this out for ourselves. I kind of used to want God to just email me a copy of my life, and I could sort of scan down and okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. Now I know what to do with my life. Thank God, it takes pressure off of me. But it just doesn't happen. It's a process. It's something that we have to do over time. It's not a quick fix. And we all have to go through it. It's just good to do it with people and friends who can sort of laugh with you and say, yeah, I'm in the same dang boat, but we'll get there together. Another reason that people tend to ask this question is because they're afraid they're going to choose wrong. I mean, what if God has a plan for your life and you do something that screws it up? I mean, if God says this is what you're supposed to be and you don't get that, you miss it, and somehow you end up over here, crap, what do? I mean, you've just screwed up God's plan. Let me reassure you, don't worry about it. Your God is a master yoga artist. He is so flexible. The yoga thing was a joke, right? You get that it's a joke? It's a joke. He doesn't actually do yoga. I mean, maybe he does, but God is really flexible. God, even if you're over here someplace, even if this is where you're supposed to be and you're over here, God can go, all right. We'll just kind of, move you over here. That's no problem. And for that matter, it's usually the case that God doesn't say, this is where you're supposed to be and that's it. And if you don't get there, well, then I'm going to have to pull you along over here. If you end up over here, okay, God can make use of you there. And if you end up here, God can make use of you there. And if you end up over here, God's good with that. God doesn't have a single path for most of us. And if we fall off, we're in trouble. There's lots of different things that we can do. There's lots of different things that will make God completely happy with us. In fact, we can really screw things up, and God is still going to be with us. God is still going to love us. And God is still going to use us wherever we're at. Time for a Gomez break. He's cute, isn't he? So if God doesn't have a single thing that he wants you to be doing, and he can kind of use you wherever, that means you have a lot of areas to explore. I kind of actually recommend something that a couple of Stanford professors came up with called Design Your Life. There's a book on it that you can find out there. I'll put a link in the description if you want. But the idea behind Design Your Life is you design things by running prototypes and doing a lot of research. So why not go about your life doing research and doing prototypes? Figure out something that you think might be interesting, might be good, might be worthwhile, and then go talk to somebody who does it. Give them an interview. Say, what do you like about your job? What do you hate about your job? What really works for you, and what's really hard about what you've chosen to do with your life? What makes you think, thank God I can get out of bed and go do this every day? And then go find ways to sort of test it out. Go find an internship. Go find somebody who does this work and say, hey, can I kind of just shadow you for a week and kind of see what you do and maybe kind of participate and help you out a bit? And just go find out. Go explore. Go test and see if it really works for you. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, you learned something, and that's awesome. You see, God can use you wherever you're at. And most importantly, God's purpose for your life isn't a particular job, it's not a particular mission, it's not a particular, task that he wants you to accomplish. God's real purpose for your life is love. The great commandment is love God and love your neighbor as yourself. This is your task, and you can do that wherever. You can do that in whatever job that you have. You can do that wherever you're living. You can do that in any community that you happen to be in. The most important thing is to learn to love and to be loved and to receive love in relationship with God and other people. That's your purpose in life. Whether you end up as a doctor or a missionary or a geothermal nuclear technician, I don't think that's a real job, is it? It's not a real job. Whatever it is that you do, if you're with God in it, he'll use that. And he'll use you. And he'll be thrilled to have you there. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was really useful for you. If you liked it, hit the like and subscribe buttons. And if you have any thoughts or comments, please feel free to hit me down there in the comments section. Love to hear from you. Thanks so much.